Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ching here, and I will be your host for tonight's meeting. So before we start, we'll go through with the promotion of the month. Wei Lun, do you mind helping me to share the promotion? Because I don't have the copy of the promotion slides.
For this month is from Bay.
From Bay.
Yeah, from Bay. For this month. Yeah, because that day I share, so I asked Bay to do for this month.
Okay, can.
Okay.
So I
So I send it to you, but today is the last day, so I think we can just go on and do the sharing, lor. Because last day already, anyways.
okay, can.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, in that case, let me bring up the speaker. I don't have the speaker profile.
The poster I sent to you.
Okay. Okay. So today we have two speakers. So for the first speaker, we have Ching, who will be sharing with us the book on 7 habits of highly effective people. So she will be sharing with us what she learned and takeaway and how she managed to apply what she have learned from this book to in the business and other areas of her life. So without further ado, let us bring Ching up by tapping 111.
Thank you, Chunda. So first of all, Happy New Year to all. 恭喜发财. Hope that the rabbit year will bring us more luck, more prosperity, and 心想事成. Means that may our dreams come true. Okay, so I would like to share today. Let me share my screen, yeah. On the book, I think with the new year come, let's talk about some of the learnings. Okay, can you all see my screen? Let me put it in a presentation mode. Okay, you can see my screen, right, y'all? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So today I'm going to share this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a very thick book. I actually digest a lot because the letter is so small. Actually, I have been delaying reading on this book because of the small wording, the font, and very thick book. So, but then I managed to finish it, and then to take some of the cheese from here, and let me share with you. And I also actually going through these habits, right? These are the habits which actually I myself actually applied it by not knowing, and then those actually will let me get some of the result. So I would like to share the 7 habits. Maybe we can actually probably from these 7 habits, only one. If it is just only one, we can actually apply, and then it can actually benefit you. I think my sharing will be worthwhile already for tonight. Yeah. So let's start. So the first habit I would like to talk about is being proactive. Hold on, I think this one. Okay. Being proactive. So being proactive, actually I summarize into three actually points. So in this be proactive, right? So in the normal routine, people tend to be act on reactive. So they are reactive and proactive when we face some of the circumstances or facing some situation. So reactive is we react to a problem after it arises, or another way is that we prevent the problem before they arise. So how are we going to tackle this? So for reactive, right? So reactive person, we spend on the time and energy where things that we can't control. So there are two how to say, we can actually categorize into a lot of issues in our daily lives into two circles. One is the circle of our concern and circle of control. So which saying that there are things that we can actually is up to us that we can control, and there are actually things that issues that there are, it is our concerns, but it is beyond our control. So for reactive people, they actually spend a lot of time thinking on the things that they can't control themselves. So example, like what other people think on them, what is the traffic, what is the weather, and then how people will react when I say such things like that, how will people react when I don't present well, etc., etc. So proactive people will actually spend time and energy on things that are within the control. So how can I say it positively? How could I actually, my words could impact people? So these are the difference between reactive and proactive. Yeah. So probably we can actually, myself actually, when reading this book, actually examine back myself, how many times I am being reactive when settling or handling some problems, and how many times that I really use the proactive. Okay, the second point that actually I gather from this book is that we need to be, the second steps is that we know that the reactive and proactive already. Now we want to become much more proactive, and we want to focus on the circle of influence. Means that we want to focus on the things that we can control ourselves. So from here you can see, so there are actually major one is two circles of influence and circle of concern. Circle of influence are the ones that we can control, and circle of concern which are the things that are actually beyond our control. So we want to actually spend our time and energy to look into the things that we could control first. And we that whenever that we can actually control and we can actually influence, we can actually control by influencing. We can actually control our action, control our thoughts, control our response, attitude, and enthusiasm for that certain things, when certain things happen and when the situation happen to us, so that we can influence the people around us. That we can do. So rather than actually we put our energy and time onto the circle of concern, which are actually beyond our control. So we want to expand on a proactive focus. We want to expand the circle of influence rather than the circle of concern. Okay, so the third one, so replace with proactive language. So on reactive language are more too passive, such as like, there's nothing I can do anymore when this thing happened. Or with a proactive language, we can look into, let's look at what other alternatives that we can have. And reactive, like that is just the way I am. Okay, that's done. I'm done with that. So this is just the way that I can do. So this is a reactive one. Or we can actually choose to say that we can choose other different approach. And his example, he's making me so mad, or I could control my own feelings. And from I can't do that, I have to do that. Or maybe we can actually go into proactive language, such as I will choose an appropriate response. I choose to be like that. I prefer to be this way, and I will make it happen. Okay, so these are the three, the first habit, the being proactive. Yeah. In this book, actually, Stephen Covey actually have actually written out. So let's look into how many times actually we become proactive. And one more thing that I also I learned, example that from the experience of actually serving customer lah. I mean, in this business, right, when we serve customer, so not in many times when we go to service customer, I just put an example. What I can do is that whenever that we send, sometimes they order, then we have to send example like e-spring. I need to actually help them to install. So whenever I go to that house, I will actually do examine what are the things other than e-spring. What are the things else that actually they've been using, and what are the things else, like example, on that day, probably the supplement, and probably example, some of New Year is coming. We ask them, we tell them what is the goodness and what is the incoming. I will check with them, like what are the kids doing and all that. So that is a proactive action, even though they don't buy, they don't have the needs for us. Because there's one customer, when I don't actually when I actually ask further, it's not just installing the e-spring, just full stop from there. When we chit chat with them more, understand on their kids' problem, on their own health problems, right? So, but the next time we actually plant the seed on the information that we have, what kind of supplement that we have. I share with them on how I recover from, example, my sickness, my flu, my fever. I just share with them. And that's one time they can remember your story. They will actually link back, okay, oh, now Ching told me that out of she got a COVID, and how she recovered in probably 5 and 6 days time using the supplement. So she will come and get from me the supplement. So that is some of the proactive action actually we could think of. Some of the small things we can start to do. So this is the habit 1. Now the habit 2. Habit 2, Stephen Covey actually teaches on the begin with end in mind. So it talks about all things are created twice. So begin with an end in mind, in your mind. So in our life, right, everything that we do, there's a reason and there's a purpose of why we do that things. So all the things that are created, all things are created twice, all things, yeah. So first vision, it will come, it's the first creation, and the one that actually come inside our mind. And the second time, it will be created on the actual one. So for a house, it's called the blueprint. So for life, it is called a mission. So for a day, it is called a goal and a plan. For a parent, it is called a belief in the unseen potential of a child. For all, it is mental creation, which is always precedes the physical and the second creation. So means that everything in the world, it is created twice. Firstly, in our mind first, then it come, and the second one will be the created on physically. So the first thing first, we have to ask ourselves, we come back to our why. What is our purpose in life? What is our values in life? And what do we want in our lives? And when do we want it happen? So it talks about what is our goals, what is our purpose, what is our mission. And that big why have to be very, very clear why we do that. So when we have that end in mind, so everything that we do, we will actually go to that direction of the why we have it in mind, and why we are doing this, why do I want to choose this, example, the career that I'm going to choose today. And example that we want to choose to lose weight. So we say that we want to lose weight. So everything that we choose, everything that we eat, and everything, the calorie that we will actually try to take care, try to control, and the workout that we do every daily. So there's a reason why we do that. And then set the goals. We have to set the goals. I mean, early of the year, in the beginning of the year, we talk about how we want to set the dream board, and then what is our goals in the early of the year resolution. So make it very clear what are the life goals that we want, and how soon that we want to make it happen. And also, it is very important to actually to put pen down the goals and then the dreams that we want in a written paper, because when you write down the goals, the achievement on that goals will be far more faster in a shorter time. then you only imagine it, right? And then yes, we have to put the clear why, make it big, remain big. But the most important things of putting that into your mind, you have to putting the dreams into action. Set up the action plan, and we have to actually make it into small plans, to make it small goals in order to take action on it so that it could happen. Yeah, so begin with an end in mind. So this is the habit, the second habit. So the third habit will be the put first thing first. So when we set our why already, when we set our goal already, so there are a lot of things, I mean, in our daily lives, right? So find the things what matter most. When we skew down into small goals and small actions, small routine, right? So we will find daily what are the things that matter and worthy towards the goal that we have set, towards the things that we have set that we want to achieve. So it's our passion, values, purpose, and priorities. So what are our values? So in Stephen Covey book, it actually broke down into, I think a lot of you are, most of us familiar with this. But then when I read this, it go into much more detail what we should do on this time management box, task management box, time management box, which actually being split into 4 quadrants, into two things, I mean two criteria, urgent and important. So we can see here the activity in the quadrant 1, urgent and very urgent and very important. So this very urgent and very important, we must do it immediately. So normally these activities will be crisis already, the deadline has been meeting, so a pressing problem that we need to do it right away, right? So, and then the quadrant 2, it is not so urgent, but it is most important. It is very, very important. And whereby this quadrant 2, we can actually plan for it. Example, we want to plan for relationship building with a family, or probably with our new friends, or probably with the new customers, and then recognizing a new opportunities. So you want to plan for that. We want to plan on routines, how we want to work on that opportunities. And then some of the health example, you have health planning, you have some workout, you have to plan for the fitness, what you want to do for that, maybe weight management. It is not urgent, but then it is very, very important. And this actually could what are the things that bring out from here, not urgent, important, are those things which are visionary, and it can actually help us to become balanced, discipline, control, and some of it actually will encounter a few crises also, but when we plan it well, it will reduce the crisis. So quadrant 3, so on the quadrant 2, we want to plan it, and then for quadrant 3 will be the activities that are urgent but not so important. Example like boiling the water, and then the boiling water, a lot of people boiling the water. Some of the people are boiling the water on the fire, on the gas, gas stove. So it is urgent. You have to actually switch it off when it is boiling already. So that activity actually not so important, but we can actually it is urgent. You need to get it done. Some meetings, some, just now like I said, that to switch off the fire or boiling the water. So we can actually delegate it. It is quite short term also. We can actually delegate that job to other people. In quadrant 4 will be the activities that is not urgent and not important. And for this, we will try to avoid it, not to reduce it or minimize it, not too much. So this not urgent and not important, like example, like scrolling through all the social medias for hours. If for some time, yes, maybe you want to learn some of the social commerce, see how people posting things, because social commerce and key influencer way is one of the key things right now, but not that we spend until 3 hours, many hours by spending on that time on non-urgent and not important things. So it is important knowing what to leave out, as what to do. Yeah. So what you need to leave out first. Maybe we are not sure what to do, but we know what to not to do first. Just leave out first. So put first thing first is that we have to prioritize what we need to do first. This is the habit 3. Okay. Now, so the quadrant through is the most important one. Means that the things that we can actually a lot of times actually we neglect it because that we think we have time to plan it later, then procrastinate. It is important, we know, right? So example like we want to listen to some good podcasts or some good audios and all that, but we keep on procrastinate. It is important, but not so urgent. We can do it later. Okay, but we have to actually set it into a schedule that we can do it bit by bit. Okay, habit 4. Habit 4, we talk about how to actually we need to have this thinking to be win-win situation. Okay, to be win-win. There are 6 ways here, showing here, that we can actually choose. So genuinely, right, we want to strive for, ultimate goal is to strive for a mutual beneficial solution or agreements in our relationship. So value and respect people by understanding that the win is for a better long-term relationship. So firstly, we have to know who we are as an integrity, who we are, what we stand for, what our values are, and what our beliefs are. And then we are mature enough to express our belief, and with the balancing of courage and consideration. So at the top left here, so being considerate and being courageable enough to let each party to win. And we always have this abundance mentality, means that I make sure that both winner doesn't mean that I will lose out, So means that there are plenty space for everyone to actually win, to win it. So the abundance mentality, we need to have that abundance mentality. So in many times, there are 6 situations in the win-lose game. So it's either that loss situation. So both of the party lost. Argue, come into disagreement. So I can't win. So I know that I can't win. I also don't want them to win. I also don't want the other party to win. So it actually results into loss situation. Then loss-win situation is that I lost, you win. Okay lah, we accommodate lah. We let people win lah. We don't want to argue. We want just follow only. Just want to be a peacemaker. But this is also not so healthy. So we always actually put their other people priorities over us. Okay, and then we want to seek acceptance from other people. That is quite passive also. So we do not want this situation. And another way is that win-lose. I win, you lose. So I always win. I always want to compete. I make sure that I win and you lose. This actually doesn't give you a long-term relationship. So another way is that no deal, no winners or no losers. So there's no agreement. Agree to disagree lah. So it means that the mindset is that to agree to disagree. And another way is that to win only. I want to win, but I don't want you to lose. So I got what I wanted. Now I got what I want already. So I do not know about you. So they do not have any favor on other people, whether they win or they lose. So this is much more selfish. So the ultimate goal is really we both win. We want to have the win-win, give customer what they need, and on the other hand, we also achieve what we have, what we want. Example, the profit, the monetary part, and probably the satisfaction when we give that service to other people. So the types of thinking when we want to achieve the win-win is really the consideration, being considerate on the other party, how to make other people win, and being courageable enough to we also want to be, because in order to win the situation, we have to be courageable enough and be considerate to let other people win as well. So think win-win in order for a better long-term relationship. This is habit 4. And let's go into the habit, habit 5. So habit 5 is that seek first to understand, then to be understood. So many of times, right? So most of the people don't listen with the intention to understand. We normally listen. When we listen to people, we are so eagerly listen to people to finish the statement in order to reply them. So from here, in order for us, for other people to understand us, first we have to listen to them first, to understand them first. So listen first and speak second. So really listen when someone is speaking, and then to apply the empathic listening. So try to understand the other person saying by asking questions. So listening is a great way to make a deposit in other people's emotion. So you can actually at the end of the time, you will actually be able to lead back the conversation into your own favor, and to lead back the person to understand you as well. Sometimes, so seek first to understand people. So, but in order to seek first to understand, firstly we must know the skills, the listening skills. So we can actually using this way. So the ethos, pathos, and logos, it means that when we use the listening skills is much more like you listen attentively, empathic listening. So to listen, to see the world, the way they see the world, understand their put yourself into their shoes to understand their situation. Then after that, when you gain their trust already, then slowly they will listen back to you, and you can actually diagnose the situation, and to get the audience, to get the other party to trust you. That is ethos, yeah. And then pathos is to let people, the other party, to feel you also. Okay, to inspire them. Example, that you want to lead them into your positive thinking. You can actually lead them, inspire with an emotional response. And logos is that you can actually, if I say the conversation goes into much more aggressive, you can actually talk to them into some facts, so that they can actually think. Because sometimes people too emotional already. You can actually get them in such a way, listen to them, you gain their trust already, slowly talk from gain trust, and then emotionally you let them know how you feel them also, you're in their shoes, and then you start to talk about some facts to bring them to start to think how to diagnose their own situation. So seek first to understand, then to be understood. So the habit 5, yeah. And then the number 6, synergize. So synergize, it is okay. Synergize, this habit is actually written because there are many people, okay, a lot of people coming from different backgrounds, different perspective. They have many ideas, many creativities. So Stephen Covey actually written this quote that synergy is better than your way or my way, it is our way. So it means that synergize, it means that collaboration. We have this creative cooperation to understand through teamwork that we can find new solution to all problems. It's just like us, each of everyone here today. So each of everyone here have good ideas, have different experience that we can actually come together in this space meeting to share. And with that synergy, we can accelerate actually to another level where we can actually bring some of the vibes, positive vibes to other people, some learnings to other people. We learn from each other in the sense that, so it's the teamwork. So we value the differences of each of us here, and then we look good into others. We encourage each other. So finding that solution, or finding a lot of solution when we listen to people, and we can find some ideas also by teamwork on this teamwork. So synergize will be the habit 6, yeah. Then we go to sharpen your saw. This the last habit. The last habit, sharpen your saw. So this sharpen your saw, the greatest asset is ourselves. So it's to how we are going to preserve and enhancing the greatest asset, which is ourselves. So the best investment is investing in ourselves. So it is through continuous learning and improving. And find time, we have to find time in a year, in 1 year, allocate some time actually to renew ourselves into some areas, some important areas, and sharpen ourselves, such as the body. Okay, the body which we want to do the exercise regularly, eat healthily. Okay, we have this Fun Fitness program, and sleep and rest and relax ourselves. That is for that is actually to pursue the habit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just now we mentioned. And then for our mind also, to read, educate, write, and learning the new skills. And for our heart, okay, in the emotional dimension, yeah. So we want to build a good relationships with many friends, and with our loved ones, with our families, and giving a good service, be able to impact other people, be a good influencers or positive influences, and be able to enjoying the session with family and friends. And into the soul also, into the areas of soul, we can actually, how are we going to improve that? Some people go for meditation, some of the mission work, and praying, take some quality vacations, and keep some journal. Okay, so these are how they so-called the sharpen the soul is ourselves. To invest in ourselves, how are we going to improve ourselves, okay, in continuous learning. And okay, so these are the summary. This is the summary. So we have the 7 habits from being proactive, begin with end of mind, and put first thing first. So the first 3 habits, yeah. So the first 3 habits, actually we are focusing on our own. We can do it on our own as independent individual to improve that. So previously, we are depending on other people. We are passive, we are become reactive. Now, in order to be proactive and to do the habit 2, to start to think from the end of mind, put the first thing first, we need to set ourselves becoming independent. And towards that, when we go through the habit 4, 5, and 6, to think win-win, to seek first to understand, then to be understood, and to do synergy. That is interdependence already. It means that we work and collaborate with other people. Okay, so the last one, sharpen the soul, is really ourselves. How are we going to nourish back our the 4 areas as I mentioned, ourselves, in order for a long run, for the betterment for ourselves in our life. So with that, I actually finished my sharing. Thank you. I'll pass back the time to Junde. Junde, we can't hear you. You are on mute.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ching, for your amazing sharing. Please give her lots of flower 111. So from my sharing, I actually learned a lot and made me realize that when I first saw these 7 habits, the first thing that came to my mind was actually very easy to execute. But along the way, when I enter the workforce, I start to realize that it's not as easy and direct path as it looks. So it's always a work in progress, trying to acquire these habits, and along the way, hopefully can help us to achieve the goals that we want to achieve in our life. Yeah, so that's all for Ching sharing. And now I'll be bringing up the second speaker. His name is Patrick. So he will be sharing with us about how to age gracefully through supplements to avoid sarcopenia and stay strong. With that, let us welcome Patrick with 222, please.
Hi, evening, everybody. Chin, I like your background. Chinese New Year.
Thank you.
You know, the book 7 Habits was once a module in Nian Polytechnic. Based on that book, it is one module, and it was a very good book indeed. You know, and I like the way you connect it to our business. Very well done. I learned a lot from there. Thank you, Chin.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Jinta, for bringing me up. And thank you, Casey, Tony, for giving opportunity for me to speak. And of course, we have to thank our Diamond Edwin for this platform. Thank you, Bay, for giving opportunity to speak to. And yeah, we have to thank Diamond Janet, who is smiling and looking at us and looking after us. Okay, for a start, some forgot what's the word, but anyway, for a start, I'm not a professional speaker, neither am I an expert in the topic. The topic came up when I was actually playing around with the ChatGPT. It's an AI chat software, and it was interesting, and so I copied the text from there and I shared with Casey, and Casey said, why don't you share on it? I said, oops. Okay, so from there I actually went back in to look at I Googled a bit, went to Mayo Clinic, went to WebMD, and went back to the course we attended sometime back at Republic Poly on nutrition, the basic course and the intermediate course, with Casey, with William, and so on. Okay, and a whole bunch of us that was there. So putting all those notes together, and I hope to come up with some things that we can benefits from this topic called sarcopenia. Allow me to share my slides. Oh, by the way, oh, sorry, I cannot share slides. Can somebody make me the co-host? I cannot share my screen. Should be Bay, is it, or Ching, or Wei Lun?
I think Wei Lun should be able to.
Wei Lun, let's see. Who is the host?
Try.
Need to get
Patrick.
host privilege. Bay is the host.
Yeah, Bay is the host, not me.
Bay. Oh, Bay. I need to get to be
Can
a host.
Mr. Patrick try share?
I cannot share yet. I'm not the host. Yeah. Oops. Now I can. Oops.
Okay.
Okay, but I need to go into. I'm not sure. Can you see this one? Is it on a slide mode or not? It's not a slide mode, right?
Not yet, Patrick.
Okay, let me see. Does this goes on slide mode? No. I gotta reshare. Stop share and share again. Where are you? Oh, there you are. This one okay? Yeah. Everybody can see on this, I hope. Can, huh? Okay, see? Somebody.
Patrick can see.
Can see, yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, the topic is called sarcopenia, aging gracefully. How supplements can, tying back to our business, how supplement can help us to avoid sarcopenia. And what really is sarcopenia? Hey, how do I go to the next screen? Oh, okay. I think I. Okay, previous screen. Okay. What is sarcopenia? What is it about? It's just a long word, but basically it is a term that says about we lose our muscles, especially as we age. It is a natural phenomena and common, and it'll be relevant to people like me who has past 60s and a few few of us here. Okay, but for the younger folks, well, do take note of it, because I'm sure you have older parents at home. Okay, understanding it will be helpful too. Okay, it's something good to understand upon. Right. So what happened? It's a natural loss of muscles, common for older people, and because of this, you find that a lot of old people get weaker and doesn't want to move around. Oops, I keep moving too fast. Right. What are the causes of this development? There's a physical activity, hormones level, nutrition, and chronic disease. Okay. Right. Physical activity. The thing is that as we age, we tend to be less active. There are many reasons for that. Among them is when we get less active, we actually will lose muscle. Partly because of our stage in life changes, retirement, children get married and move all out of the house and become like nothing much to do at home. There's not much direction and interest in life. But with us in this business, the good thing is that we always have a direction, right? The other one is that very often, especially those who have fallen down before, they find that they cannot balance well and they get a fear of falling, and so they tend to sit down more, don't want to move. Have you seen some older people refuse to move? They just sit down, because they say, because they are afraid. And then people will say, oh, be careful, don't fall down, which is true. Older people, their bones are more brittle. If they fall down, they can fracture very easily. So again, people will avoid movement, or they get bored. And sometimes, basically, it is a vicious cycle. You don't move much, physical fitness deteriorate. And when physical fitness deteriorate, you lucky don't want to move, right? Okay. Second thing is hormones level changes. As we grow old, our hormones change. Our hormones production changes. For example, testosterone. Testosterone. That's a long word. That is a hormone that's not usually referred to with male. But the fact is that both male and female has that hormones. Okay. It is a form of growth hormone. The other part is like other production in our body toned down. For example, Q10. Q10 is a very important coenzyme in our body. As we age, we will produce less and less. And later on, if I have time, I remember I'll share a bit of how Q10 really affect me. Okay. Nutrition, that one we all can know. Why? As we age, we if you notice, the older people tends to eat lesser. Except me, I tend to eat more. Then you go fat. But you tend to eat lesser because the taste buds deteriorate. You don't smell so well. You can't taste so well. Your teeth are weak, so you cannot chew so hard. And as a result, appetite tends to get a bit lesser, right? And on top of that, our ability to absorb also went down. Our stomach, our intestine doesn't absorb so well. So this will result in poor nutrition. Okay, we eat less, we absorb less, so that's a problem. Third one is chronic diseases. Things like diabetes, kidney disease will tend to also deteriorate our muscles, or those with a heart problem also will have will move less, and so will also affect your muscles. And as our muscles shrink, we get weaker, and it's a vicious cycle. All right. So what's the symptoms? It is a medical condition, a recognized medical condition. Our muscle actually physically gets smaller. Okay. You will notice a lot of the older people, you see a lot of fats underneath a lot of, not fats, a lot of loose skin under the arms, on the legs. It's loose because the muscle has shrunk. Okay. Right. The muscle mass has gone down, and then there's no strength in there. Okay. The ability to perform physical tasks is also get lesser. You cannot move so fast. So all this you can actually see. One of the tests that people have, the person that came up with is called the sit-up test, or rather sit and stand test. You sit on a chair where your legs are flat on the floor, and stand up without having to hold anything. If you cannot do that, you must hold the chair, you must hold someone or what to stand up, means the leg muscle has deteriorated quite a bit. Okay, that's a very quick test. All right, and the other one, risk in falls and fractures. Okay, prevention. Oh, well, it's always going back to the same thing. Prevention for losing muscle, one thing very, very common is use it. For those who go to gym will be very familiar with this term. Use it or you lose it. So people who are sick and bedridden, their muscles will lose their muscle very fast, especially the thigh muscles. The thigh muscle is the first to go. So we have to use it regularly. All right. Walk around, because the worst part is to sit. As you move on in your work career, you move from a lot of high activity to one which is using more of your brain. So you end up sitting down more. Worse still, nowadays, all the influencers and all that are, everything goes through internet. Even meeting is through Zoom, right? So we lack the activity of going out of the house and all that. So we have to increase our activity. Right? I set timer on my handphone. So every now and then, every few hours, it will alarm. And the alarm message will say, stretch. So I stand up and stretch a bit. Okay. Now the other one is smoke. Don't smoke. For I think our that is not a problem for our group here, our team here, right? But smoking actually accelerate the muscle loss. Sleep. That is my favorite part. Sleep. Sleep is important because if you don't sleep, muscle cannot repair. If muscle cannot repair, you lose it. As you use muscle, they will actually be wear and tear, they call it. And you need to sleep and you need to have nutrition for it to grow, and you grow bigger as you use it. And thirdly, fourthly, actually, if you have health condition, see a doctor. Sitting at home doesn't help. You got to do something about it. Consult a doctor, or go and read up, see how you can manage your health condition, especially things like diabetes and obesity is also a problem. Kidney, liver functions. Go and see a doctor or do something for yourself to improve it. And lastly is eat. All right, it's important to eat. Without food, without proper nutrition, then we will lose. Our body will lose. All right. Over here, I hope to be able to share a short video clip. Let me see if I can change that. Okay. And yep, I hope this one will work. You can see the orange screen. Can hear, no?
1 in 4 seniors suffer
Can you hear?
from
Can you wave for
sarcopenia,
something like that?
which is an age-related loss of muscle mass and function. With a rapidly
Yeah.
aging population in Singapore, sarcopenia rates are expected to increase. So, I'm Dr. Tang Yao Kang for Sing Health Polyclinics. My team and I are studying sarcopenia in our seniors, and we're finding ways to slow it down. First, let's understand what sarcopenia is and how the muscle functions. Imagine this is a muscle. In the early stages of life, muscles grow and develop. In the adult life, it maintains, and later in life, when the natural process of aging sets in and muscle tissue ages, people start to lose muscle mass and function. These are the first signs of age-related sarcopenia. Factors such as decline in activity, chronic illness, and poor nutrition can also contribute to sarcopenia. Such muscle loss can result in reduced mobility, increased risk of fall, slower recovery from illness, frailty, and even death. It also lowers one's quality of life due to loss of independence, limitations in movement, and even leads to social isolation. My team and I are conducting a cross-sectional study of close to 700 volunteers aged 60 years and above at Ching Polyclinics, Pasir Ris. Our senior volunteers are assessed with 3 tests. First, hand grip strength. The measurement of hand grip strength assesses frailty and the loss of muscle mass and strength. Low hand grip strength values have been shown to be a consistent predictor of future adverse health outcomes, including disability and death. Secondly, gait. This is an important indicator of functional ability. Gait speed is measured by manually measuring the time the volunteer takes to walk a distance of 6 meters. A volunteer with no sarcopenia present would walk faster than 0.8 meters per second. Lastly, we test muscle mass using a bioelectrical impedance analysis scale. A very low and safe electrical signal is sent. The signal analyzes the body and gives an indication of muscle mass. We then follow a sarcopenia diagnostic criteria for Asians to determine who has sarcopenia and categorize volunteers into different stages such as pre-sarcopenia, sarcopenia, and severe sarcopenia. With this as the baseline, we track the volunteers over 1 year to see the progression of sarcopenia. We then repeat the test to check if the volunteers maintain their hand grip power, walk speed, and muscle mass. Proper nutrition and active lifestyle may stop sarcopenia progression, or even better, reverse the loss of muscle. So we advise our patients to continue with it. We hope that from this study, we can develop a program that will allow our seniors to maintain their muscle mass, strength, and function. We aim to reduce the burden of sarcopenia in our aging population.
Okay. Where are we? Where am I? Let me get back to my slides. Okay. For those of you interested to see this, you can go to YouTube. All right. And this is the link for it. Okay. So if you're looking through the video clip, there are a few things that's for us. One, we are in Singapore, and not just in Singapore. I think even in Malaysia, Indonesia is the same. They are getting more and more older people. Sarcopenia will be something relevant. We in our business can actually play a part in helping on the nutrition side of it. Okay, so it's a very good business opportunity out there. Right, nutrition. What are the nutrition? What is this? Okay, what are the nutrition that will impact on sarcopenia? That means in our muscle mass. So I listed a few key ones: protein, vitamin D and E, calcium, omega-3 fatty acid, and CoQ10. All these has an impact on the muscle growth and maintenance. Okay, and the actual amount to take will depend on the age, sex, the stage in life. That means activity of the person as well. So let's take a look at it. Okay, these are plucked out from WebMD, Mayo Clinic, and so on. Protein is definitely a necessary. Every time we think of our muscles, we always think protein, but that is not the only one, but it is a very important one. Protein is important not just for muscle, it is a building block for all our cells, including our bones, our hair, our fingernails, skin. Everything requires proteins, okay? Not just muscle, but yes, muscle requires a lot more protein. The thing to look out for in protein is PDCASS. Okay, it's a long word. Basically, a long abbreviation. Basically, it says that absorption rate. So, Neutralite protein powder has an absorption rate of 1, means it is very good. It can be absorbed 100%. Okay, so they say that we have an aim for 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram. That means that if you are 50 kilogram, you need 50 gram of protein powder per day. I think most of us don't get 50 gram of protein powder per day. 50 gram of protein powder, 1 scoop of our plant protein is 8 gram. So 50 gram means that you need like 12 scoop. Imagine eating 12 scoop of that powder. So it is as a supplement, means that we have to also get our protein from our regular diet. Okay. So it's never too much to eat on the protein actually, but it is a good suggestion that when you take protein powder, to also take in milk thistle, because as you take a lot of protein, your liver will have to work very hard. Milk thistle will strengthen your liver, okay, and Q10 as well, where we go for that. Next thing that we need for is vitamin E. It's not just for vision, reproduction, but it's for blood, brain, and skin health. So blood is one key ingredients in having a healthy muscles. Okay, so guy is about 50 milligram a day. Calcium, bones, teeth. Calcium is for our bones, our teeth, blood clotting, but many people are not aware calcium is a key mineral for muscle control, for nerves. All right. So without calcium, a lot of time when you are in army, they will say, right, if you don't have enough calcium, you get muscle cramp. Those who have given birth or have wife who have given birth will know, right? Doctors will always prescribe calcium, not just for the bones. Without calcium, you will also get muscle cramps more often. Okay, you can go from like about 1,000 milligram per day. For older adults, 1,200 milligram per day, right? So calcium is important for muscles as well. Omega-3 acid, omega-3 fatty acid, omega-3, it is a key ingredient in our cardiovascular. That means our blood pressure, our sugar, glucose level. It's also key for our mental health, for the brain food. It is for our eyes, immunity, anti-inflammation. So all in, really, I cannot say anything lesser about omega-3. If you talk to cases, you always recommend omega-3, omega-3. Okay. The key on omega-3 I realize is that, from the professor in Republic Poly, is that you got to make sure that it is not contaminated. All right. Normal, regular, fish and fish oil may be contaminated by mercury out there in the sea. So to ensure purity, make sure on the label it says there's molecular distillation. Good news for us is that our omega-3 has double molecular distillation. That means it goes through that molecular distillation twice to remove any impurity, metals in it, so that our omega-3 fatty acid is double distilled. Not distilled, not that filter kind of distill, but this is a molecular distillation. It's a very special process that purify the omega-3 fatty acid. Recommended is 250 to 500 milligram per day. In clinical trials, they have gone up to 3,000 or 4,000 milligram per day. Okay. Another page on vitamin D. That we get through sunlight, or we can get through a cow MACD. Okay. It enhances the calcium absorption, reduce blood pressure, improve insulin resistance. Vitamin D, surprisingly. Lately, you hear a lot of vitamin D. So go under the sun, but be careful, don't get sunburn and don't get skin cancer from that, okay? Too much ultraviolet is not good. Must have enough. Adults, about 600 to 800 IU per day, unit per day. Adults can go for more. It is also said that vitamin D3 helps in the recovery of COVID. Okay, we'll read about that. Lastly, coenzyme Q10. It is required for the long word, adenosine triphosphate synthesis, ATP. ATP is key for conversion of carbohydrates to energy. And all our body parts require the ATP to get the energy. Right? And you will find that the three most hardworking organs in our body, the heart, liver, and kidney, these are the three that doesn't stop working. They have the most CoQ10 in them. Our body generates CoQ10 normally, but as we grow older, above age 40, our CoQ10 production start to drop. Okay, so it's an adult 100 to 200 milligram per day. Just for reference, our Neutralite capsule, one capsule is 30 milligram. So 100 milligram, that's why they recommended 3 capsules per day. Okay, and there are, when they use studies and all that, they have used from 50 milligram to 1,200 milligram. 1,200 milligram means that 1 month you got to take 3. One bottle is 40 milligram. And one bottle is 60 capsule. 3 capsule. It's like almost like you got to take 3 bottles a month. Okay. So on the whole, it says the older adult need to take more because the production, the older you are, the production rate goes down, right? But those who are on blood thinning medication, please consult a doctor. Now, all this recommended dosage, all that is meant as a supplement, meaning when you are healthy and it supplement your existing diet. Okay. But like what my friend used to say, if there's a hole in on the road, you cannot just put a normal layer. You got to put more to fill it up. So for short term, you got to consider whether you want to increase that or not. CoQ10 for me recently, I found that I have problem walking. Like you say, the gait. So my colleague will all see me limping, and hobbling around when I walk. And I got problem climbing up on stairs. And I've been taking CoQ10. I have taken about 4 capsules a day. So recently, as I read about CoQ10, I say, okay, I'm going to double my dosage. In fact, more than double, almost triple my dosage. After 1 week, and in fact, this morning, one of my colleagues said, hey, now you walk very smoothly. So then I realized that my leg doesn't have the strength because it is hungry. It's not able to convert the carbohydrates. It doesn't have enough of the ATP process. So I'm going to maintain this rate of CoQ10. Can consider on that for most people. All right. That covers the main topic that I have to give you. I added a few slides of cutouts from Amway website. You all can go there and take a look. Right, all plant protein, our what is this? PDCAAS is 1.0. Right, I highlighted that to see that. Right. Okay, this is for lecithin E. You can go to the website to take a look, or you can look at the bottle itself. This is taken out from the bottle. This is calcium, CalMACD, right? So they give you the information per tablet, how many milligram, right? Okay, this is on salmon omega, right? How many? 330 milligram, no. 330 milligram. Okay, so salmon omega, and if you go to the salmon omega Amway website, there's a video, and they say that they go through a double molecular filter, right, to ensure the purity of the. Here it only said molecular distillation, but on the video it says that they do a double molecular distillation to ensure it's pure, right? And for people like my wife who cannot stand the fishy smell, good news, we now have the white chia seed oil, which is 60% omega-3. So you can start drinking without fear of that. All right. Finally, this is CoQ10. Yeah. And our CoQ10 is not just CoQ10, it also comes with taurine and a few others. Okay. So this all with what I have on to share with you all. Before you all change anything, please discuss with your upline. Okay. And but it's just good potential for us all. Okay. Thank you. And back to you, Junta.
Thank you, Patrick, for the amazing sharing. So it's first time I heard about sarcopenia and the effects on elderly people. So it's actually quite common, especially previously when I work in a gym environment where I see some of the elderlies, they are having difficulties in moving around. So they get the help of the trainers to help them to muscles in their body to keep them active. Yeah. And also because right now is like a rainy season, so without much sun, I believe CalMACD is the alternative to get vitamin D. Yeah, to keep our bones and our health strong and healthy. Yes. So with that, come to the end of today's sharing. So the next week's speakers, they will update in the group chat again. Yeah, that will be all. And take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Happy New Year.